Hello everyone, I am One Bird, and today we're going to be looking at the Woods Hidden Stash run. I'm going to show you what I think is the best Woods Hidden Stash run route to do. I did 10 Woods Stash runs. I've got pictures of all the loot to show you, and by the end of this video you're going to be able to work out whether the Woods Hidden Stash run is really worth your time. There's 34 hidden stashes on Woods, and the key to the Woods hidden stash run for me is flexibility. So it's good to know where every single one of those stashes are, just in case you spawn off route or you need to change up the route a little bit, so you know where to go if the stashes you want to hit is not exactly on the route I'm going to show you. I've got a video I've just put out showing you where every single one of those 34 hidden stashes are, so if you need to locate some, that is the video for you. So this is the hidden stash run route that I would recommend. The main route extends from ZBO14 bunker in the west of the map over to the northern UN roadblock in the east of the map. And they're the two exits that I take the majority of the time. There are 21 stashes on the main route, and then I have included some optional routes just to take you to different extracts if you want to go to different extracts, or just in case you spawn somewhere different. So there are some optional routes there, and like I said earlier, the key is flexibility. So really knowing those wood stashes, and some of them are quite hard to find. The one thing I found with the Woods Hidden Stash run compared to the Shoreline Hidden Stash run that I did a video on previously, a lot less stash runners or just people that knew the stashes in general. I think on Woods there's a few stashes that are common knowledge, but there's many that are very hard to find, and if you're not really a stash runner, you don't love finding those hidden stashes like I do, then you don't look up videos to find where they are. I think there was only 1 or 2 out of the 10 runs that I did that I came across more than 1 or more than 2 stashes that had already been hit before I got to them. A few points that I really like about this route: most of the action on Woods takes place around USEC camp, around the sawmill, and around Emacom camp. So the normal route here avoids all of those locations, except from USEC camp, which it does go close by to. But the beauty of USEC camp is, if you're at the stash nearby USEC camp, you don't see anyone around, you can just go up and have a look. But one thing I would say is just don't stick around there, get in and get out of USEC camp, because there's always going to be people going in there to have a look to see if that loot's still there. I'm going to talk a little bit about the 2 extracts now. The ZBO14 bunker extract, obviously you require a key to go there, so if you don't have that key, you can take the optional route down to outskirts. But if you do have that key, I recommend taking the ZBO14 bunker extract. There is some extra loot and you get to avoid outskirts, and sometimes going to outskirts can be, a bit hairy. It is the main extract on that west side of the map, so everybody from the east side is going to be going there. Sometimes you just can't avoid fighting people when you're heading to that extract. And as a stash runner, if you're full of stash, if you're full of loot in your bag, you're pretty heavy, sometimes it can be a bit difficult going to that extract. So I like to go out a ZBO14 bunker if I have the option. Secondly, the northern UN roadblock. Check out all the loot in Old Sawmill. Plenty of weapon boxes. It's likely to still be there because lots of people don't go there. You might as well just extract at that location. Right, let's talk about the loot. Now, before we start, the values that I'm going to be giving you are all purely based off trader sales only. So sales to the traders only. There are no flea market sales in here whatsoever. So some of these values might be a little bit lower than perhaps some other videos, but by doing it based off trader sales, I can guarantee you that you are going to get these values. Plus, it allows us to compare values without worrying about what the prices are on the flea market at the time of the stash runs. So I've probably done over 50 hidden stash runs right now, but the last 10 that I've done, I've recorded exactly what I've got from these 10 stash runs, and I'm not going to show you everyone. I'm going to show you the 3 worst and the 3 best hidden stash runs from those 10. We're going to have a look at the loot and the route that I took, and then I'm going to give you an average, and you can decide whether the Woods Hidden Stash run is worth your time. So we've got the worst run of the 10 recorded Woods Hidden Stash runs here. This was run number 4, and in total we got 313,000 rubles from this run. I picked up a lion and a teapot and an ophthalmoscope, and I needed all of those items. So in the end, I just decided to cut and run, went to the bridge car extract, and got out the woods run early. So in total, I did 18 minutes. And although the total for this stash run, 313,000, is by quite a long way the lowest of the 10 stash runs, but when you look at the amount for this stash run compared to the amount of time I spent in the raid, this stash run right here was actually the third most effective stash run. So when you're considering time to rubles being made, most people will assume the longer you stay in these stash runs, the more rubles you're going to make. That's just not true. Basically, once you fill up your backpack, the amount you're going to earn per minute is actually reducing. So sometimes it can be more beneficial just to go to that bridge car extract, pay the 3,000 rubles and get out early. Especially if you've got something important that really matters to you. Just like that lion, teapot and ophthalmoscope mattered to me in this run. Moving on to run number 8. And you can see a lot more stuff here. So this run, we earned 404,000 rubles, almost 100,000 more than we did on that previous run. The route took me all the way from the UN roadblock where I spawned through the old sawmill over to ZBO 14. And this is what I'm talking about being flexible here. I didn't hit the mountain. I didn't hit the abandoned village. But once I got to that center stash, there was probably 20 minutes left in this raid. And I was very conscious that I didn't want to head up towards Scav Bunker away from my extracts and then be worried about time on the way back. I wanted to keep heading towards my extracts. So we picked up the M4A1 and the Mark 47 here. You know, you don't have to sell them. You can then use them in future raids. Although I would argue, depending on what your level is, you might not get best use out of them because you might not have the ammo that really will give you the best use out of these firearms. Okay, and on to the third worst run now. This is run number 1. We got 407,000 rubles. And unfortunately, I don't have a route map for this run. So this was the first one that I recorded, and I didn't record the route at the time. And then after this one, I thought, it might be good to show you guys the route that I took at the same time. So apologies, don't have the route for this run. But there are some decent items in here. The flash drive especially. I can't remember where I picked that up from. We've also got some other great items in there. The fuel, the vodka, the Veritas streamer item. We got the sugar in there, the mayo, the Serve 12 med kit. So we do have some really good items in there. What I have noted down is I hit 7 stashes and I spent 20 minutes in this raid, which compared to the previous raid, we spent 40 minutes in that previous raid and we got 404,000 rubles. So I spent an extra 20 minutes in that previous raid and I got 3,000 less rubles than I spent in this raid. So now you're starting to see, when you get close to that bridge car extract, check what's in your inventory, because if you can cut and run at 20 minutes and make 400,000 rubles and then go straight back into a raid and do another 20-minute raid, that's 800,000 rubles over 40 minutes compared to previous raid that I just showed you, which was 400,000 rubles over 40 minutes. You've just doubled the effectiveness of your stash runs. Right, on to the 3 highest earning runs now. We're going to kick things off with run number 9. So again, this run started off near UN roadblock. The total time on this run was 47 minutes. We actually did kill a PMC here. You can see the dog tag in there. The guy just had the M9A3 pistol. That's all he really had on him. He didn't have any armor, if I remember correctly. Don't even think he had a backpack, so I'm not sure whether he just spawning him with a pistol and just doing a 0 to hero run or what it was. Yeah, it was a fairly easy kill, but we didn't actually get any loot out of that kill. In terms of the rest of the loot here, it's not actually that magical of a loot run. The one single thing I will say though is that Defender 2 armor sells for, I think, close to 200k to the traders. I think it's 180k to the traders. So if it wasn't for that Fort Defender armor, this would have probably been one of the worst runs. So I don't even think I mentioned the total that I got from this. 519,000 rubles. Take away that 180,000 and what have we got? 339 rubles. If it wasn't for that Defender armor, this would have been the second worst run. So the second highest run is run number 7. We got 573,000 rubles. We spent 48 minutes in raid and we hit 21 stashes. This run right here was the most amount of stashes that I hit on a stash run. It doesn't look overly special. There isn't anything that really stands out and goes, oh my god, that's amazing. But there are some great stuff in there. We got the TC helmet, which is a great level 4 helmet. We got the Razor headset. Now that is my favorite headset, so I was very pleased about that one. The Plague Mask sells really well. The Ronin sells really well. We got the flash drive out again. Not exactly sure where I got that from. Probably a dead scav. We got the filter, the pressure gauge, the fire clean streamer item, the sugar, the red gunpowder sells quite well. The TNT sells well. We got a couple of bolts and nuts sell well. The dry fuel sells really well. That's like 26k on that slot. The more stashes you hit, the more choice you've got over what loot you can take out. So although there aren't any like standout most amazing items and you're like, oh yeah, I can't believe that, it's just so much stuff that sells really well. And we've saved the very best for last. Literally, run number 10. The best run that I did on the Woods Hidden Stash run, and we got a grand total of, drum roll please, 657,000 rubles, and this is sales to the traders only. No flea market sales in here whatsoever. Sales to the traders only, 657,000 rubles. I am pretty pleased with that total, and I think if you were on this stash run, you would be pleased as well, because in terms of time, 28 minutes. So the last two runs that I showed you were 47 minutes and 48 minutes. This one we did in a breeze, 28 minutes. We hit 14 stashes. So we didn't exactly break the bank with the amount of stashes that we hit. But yeah, they were kind to me. They were very kind to me. Top of the pile, the Zook 6A armor. I mean, just fantastic armor. Sells for around about 230k, I believe, on the flea market. I can't quite remember the sale to the trader value, but obviously these are only sales to traders only. I just can't remember the value off the top of my head. We also got the TV 110 level 4 armor. Really good armored rig there, and it allows us to put more stuff in our stash. We also got the other rig in there as well, the CR Mark II. We got the TC helmet again, great level 4 helmet. We got the Masker helmet, which I think sells for about 100,000 on the flea. I can't remember what the sale to trader value is. And then we got some decent loose loot as well. The red gunpowder, great. The rat cola mayo, the Salewa, the Alu Sprint, great items. The stash that I picked up, the Zook 6A armor, that really made this stash run what it is, was the stash just to the north near Scav Bunker. There wasn't that much time in the raid because we extracted at 28 minutes, so there was probably only about 18 minutes in the raid at that point, and I just thought, well, I've got plenty of time, I might as well just head up there, have a quick look at that stash, and then come down towards the extract, and that's when I pulled out the Zook 6A armor. And at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm heading straight to the extract. No questions asked. I skirted right around the edge of the minefield. You can see I stayed as close to that minefield as I could possibly dare myself to. Picked up the stash at USEC camp and then just headed south to the ZB014 bunker extract. And that run right there, 657,000 rubles, I'm pretty proud of. That is sales to the traders only. Really great stash run, that one. So, if you came to find out whether it's worth your time or not, on average, on the Woods Hidden Stash run, we earned 470,000 rubles. The run took an average 38 minutes, and we earned an average of 13,600 rubles per minute on that run. We hit an average of 14 stashes, and the amount per stash was an average of 39,361 rubles per stash. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully this leaves you with a picture of whether doing the Woods Hidden Stash run is worth your time. I'm going to do more videos like this in future on different maps as well. I recently did one on Shoreline, so check out the video if you've not seen that already. And eventually we're going to be able to compare different areas on different maps as what you can earn to go in there. But one thing I need to do is track the amount of empty slots I've got before I start these runs, because the Woods Hidden Stash run, I took a bigger backpack in than I did for the Shoreline Hidden Stash run. So if you want to directly compare the two, at the moment, the values won't allow you to directly compare the two. So I'm going to have a look again. I'm going to start tracking those figures so we can adequately say what is better for you, going to Woods or going to Shoreline or going to different maps. That's the plan in the future. It's going to take me some time to get there. So if you want to be a part of this journey, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit like if you've liked the video and you found it useful. Leave me any comments down below. I love stash running. It's a great part of the game, and I just really enjoy this aspect of the game. Thanks so much for watching, and I am One Bird, and hopefully you'll come back for a new video.